Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So throughout the past few years, Character Options and B&M have really been nailing it with their Doctor Who action figure releases. We've had releases from the history of the Daleks and Tardis sets, to sets featuring classic and new series companions, and even ones based on some Big Finish audios. But there's still so many ideas for more sets that they could do, and many Doctor Who fans are wondering what is going to be released next. So without further ado, here's some ideas for what sets I would like to see be released, either later this year or at some point in the next few years. 1. More Tardis sets. This shouldn't really come as any surprise. The Doctor and Tardis sets have been very successful and popular with fans and collectors. So far we've had 8 sets with the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th Doctors and their TARDISes as of the time of writing this video, which is the 26th of April 2021. But there's still a lot more that they could potentially release. Some, such as sets featuring the 6th and 8th Doctors, may be off the table for now due to rights or cost issues, but even then there's still an awful lot that could be released. One that I personally would love to see would be a re-release of the 1st Doctor and TARDIS set from An Unearthly Child. It's very hard to get this original set nowadays without paying extortionate and frankly ridiculous prices on places like eBay. Another I would like to see would be a 7th Doctor set. This wouldn't have to be a straight up re-release of the already existing 7th Doctor TARDIS set from the Curse of Fenric. It could be a completely new set altogether. Maybe we could have the pink TARDIS from the Happiness Patrol, although I do believe that the pink TARDIS was meant to be only available at a convention or event a few years back where you could paint your own version. We could have a 7th Doctor set based on the Big Finish audio perhaps, with the TARDIS being painted to represent either the black or white TARDIS as seen in the main range audio called Black and White. Or we could even have a set based on the Virgin New Adventures with the 7th Doctor having the 7th Doctor's main costume featured in those books. Or perhaps instead of a normal TARDIS we could have the Jade Pagoda escape pod, also used in some of the V&A books. But this is probably just wishful thinking and probably won't ever actually happen due to how much it might cost to produce an entirely new sculpt. There's also the possibility of new series TARDIS sets, such as a War Doctor set or a non-electronic version of the 12th Doctor's Flight Control TARDIS. But anyway, let's now move on to my next idea. 2. More History of the Daleks sets. This also shouldn't really come as any surprise. It's inevitable that we'll get more History of the Daleks sets, as well as more TARDIS sets. Obviously so far we've had sets for the following stories: the Daleks, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the Chase, and the Daleks Master Plan. So obviously the next 2 sets will be based on the 2 Dalek stories that come after the Daleks Master Plan. These are The Power of the Daleks and The Evil of the Daleks respectively. And then after those 2 we'll probably get 2 more before the end of the year. These will most likely be based on Day of the Daleks and Planet of the Daleks respectively. As for what Daleks might be in these next 4 sets, here are my own personal guesses. For The Power of the Daleks you could have either a standard 60s Dalek with another Dalek that doesn't have its gun stick, or you could have a standard Dalek with another Dalek having a mutant scoop arm. Character Options have done a smaller 3.75 inch version of the mutant scoop Dalek before, so it's not impossible that they could do a 5-inch version, but it would depend on the cost of course. For the Evil of the Daleks you could have another standard 60s Dalek with a re-release of one of the Emperor Guard's Daleks. For Day of the Daleks you could have a standard grey Dalek with a re-release of the gold and black Supreme Dalek. And for Planet of the Daleks, you could have another standard grey Dalek and a re-release of the Supreme Dalek from that story. Or you could have the Supreme and then a re-release of a half-invisible Dalek from the story. Anyway, let's now move on to my next idea. 3. More classic companions. With the release of figures for characters like Harry Sullivan, Sergeant Benton, Captain Yates, as well as both Romanas, and a younger Sarah Jane Smith, I think it's pretty obvious that we'll get some more classic companions released soon. Some ideas of companion sets I would like to see include a set with Ian, Barbara and Susan, a set featuring Jamie and possibly either or both Victoria and Zoe, a set with some 80s companions and the only remaining 70s companion, Liz Shaw. Ideally I'd like it to be Liz Shaw, Turlough and maybe Mel or Tegan. There could also be some sets based on new series companions. These could include Nardole, Wilf and maybe a Rory figure re-release. Now we come to my 4th idea, and that is 4. More Jodie era sets. As of the time of writing this video, we do not yet have many Series 12 figures, apart from the Judoon Captain and Trooper from Fugitive of the Judoon released in the non-B&M Character Options range last year. We also don't have many Series 11 figures, apart from the fam themselves, the Tardis, and the Dalek Recon Scout from Resolution. And we also don't have any for Series 13, which yes hasn't aired yet, but still. But I personally would love to see some more from these series. So, here are my ideas. A set featuring the Joe Martin Doctor, Sacha Dhawan Master, and Ashad the Lone Cyberman. A set from Spyfall featuring Graham, Yaz and Ryan, all in their outfits for that story. A Foes of the 13th Doctor set, featuring Zim Shah, a defense drone Dalek, and maybe a Pating? Maybe there could also be a 13th Doctor figure from Spyfall and a re-release of Captain Jack in his long coat as well. And perhaps a new Sontaran figure from Series 13. But all of this is probably a bit too demanding, and it would probably cost too much to produce most of these. And perhaps some of these may be better off being in the non-B&M range if that indeed continues. Also, whilst these aren't really from the Jodie Whittaker era, I would also like to see re-releases of the Cybermen from Revenge of the Cybermen and a Mechanoid from The Chase as well. 5. Timelord Victorious sets. Yes, the Timelord Victorious event has now basically come to an end, but I would still love to see Character Options and B&M release at least a set or two to tie in with it. Perhaps they could release some Daleks sets with some Daleks based off of the designs seen in many stories from the event. They could do it like this. The first set could feature a standard Dalek drone with the Executioner Dalek. The second could feature the Time Commander and Scientist Daleks. And the third and final one could feature the Emperor and Strategist Daleks. But I highly doubt that Character will want to do these. If they had wanted to, then they probably would have announced and released them already, back when the event was still going on. Plus, Eagle Moss have already released figurines of these Daleks, so it wouldn't matter too much if Character never did them, as we already have them in some form. But there we are. There are my ideas for what B&M sets we could get this year, or at least sometime soon. I will admit that some of them are a bit too demanding and potentially costly to ever actually happen, but it's nice to dream and speculate about these things. And you never know, perhaps we might end up with some of these being released after all. Only time will tell. Anyway, so, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to click that subscribe button below, as well as press the bell icon at the side so you'll be notified of when all my new videos come out. This channel currently has 277 subscribers as of the time of recording this video. But if we're able to get to 350 by the end of this year, then I will do a Q&A where you can ask me whatever questions you want. Also, please rate and comment below what B&M sets you would like to see for this year. And if you want to binge watch all of my videos so far, then there's a link to a playlist of all of them in the description box below. So, until next time, bye bye!